Welcome to Jhart Modelworks. In this video we will be discussing my build of the Earth Defense Forces Patrol Cruiser by Bandai. It was a fun, quick little build. Welcome to my workbench. Let's get started. Alright, so this is the base where both ships are going to sit. Now the first thing I did was cut all the parts off the sprues and assemble them into sub-assemblies. This is the hull. It was a little difficult trying to get parts to glue on. Nothing has real positive locating. It's mostly just kind of pressed together and butt together fit. Again, here's the superstructure. I did go ahead and drill out that hole in the front up there, which is open. That's some sort of opening on the main ship, but some of those things on the top are kind of whopper-jawed. And this is the bridge. I kept the bridge separate because it's going to get painted white, whereas most of the rest of the superstructure is going to be dark blue. Here are our main cannons. There's two that go up on the top and one goes on the bottom. I did need to sand the back end on the bottom one a little bit. And then here's the rest of the parts. There's the little fighter. There's the radar antennas at the bottom, all sorts of fins. I thought about gluing the fins onto the body, but with some of the masking I'm going to have to do, I think it would be easier just to leave these off for now. So I put down my first coat of UMP gray primer, and as you can see, there's a really bad seam that runs the length of the model. To fix this, I'm going to mix some Tamiya white putty with some Mr. Leveling thinner, make it a bit thinner and a lot easier to work with. And I'm going to brush it into the seams and sand it back out. And after filling and sanding, it looks a lot better. You can still see the seam in there a little bit, but it's not that bad. This is an awful small kit anyhow, and I didn't want to sand too much and start losing detail, so I stopped about right there. All the rest of the parts got their second coat of primer as well. So here we have the antenna array that sits under the ship. The upper superstructure. Everything's done here and is ready for paint. Alright, so here we are. All of our parts are painted. We have our small little fighter here. See all the bits on the underside. Our hull is in our two-tone blue with white. Already done some of our weathering on there. Here we have the superstructure. And the bridge. All of our guns have some Tamiya panel line on them. Now all that's left is to get it assembled. Alright, so we're going to start with this turret on the bottom. I have to make sure to pick the right one. One of these has been sanded down a little bit to be shorter than the others, so it'll fit in this nook properly. We'll do a quick bit of dry test fit, just make sure everything fits properly, and make sure I've got the right one. We'll apply our glue in here. I'm going to go pretty heavy here on the underside, and this is all going to be covered up. A little extra glue, make sure it doesn't get broke off. I'm going to set that in place and then give it a few nudges to get it straight and lined up before the glue sets. So next we're going to glue the bridge in place on the superstructure. And this will give that time to set while we work on other parts of the hull before we put all this together. Moving along, we're going to do the turrets on the top section, and we want to do the front turret first, as the second turret sits above it, and the guns will actually sit out over this, so if you do the back turret first, you won't be able to put this one in place properly. Going to put a little bit of glue here for the second turret. Put a little bit more. But I'm just going to use my fingernail and give it just a little bit of bend so that those point up a little bit, and it's a little better. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and glue these side guns in place. There's 4 of them. Let me get hold of it. Go ahead and set that one in place. And there are 2 more on the other side. With our guns in place, we're going to go ahead and move on to attaching the superstructure and the bridge. So we'll apply some glue to the bottom of the superstructure. And mount that in place like so. Alright, so there are 4 of these fins. There's 3 that are in this dark blue color. 1 is very tall. The other 2 are slightly shorter. And the tall one goes on the top. The 2 shorter ones go on the bottom at an angle. And then there's a much shorter white one that we're going to do next. And that goes on the front of the ship here. Get that set in place. Just a little bit. There's, like I said, there's no actual locating on this. It's just kind of there's a groove, but it can sit womper jawed if you don't straighten it out. It'll look crooked. Get that all tapped down properly. And now we're going to move on to the lower fins. Do a quick bit of test fitting, and then apply some glue. When you set these, you want to make sure you set them right, because they need to go, they don't go straight down, they go at an angle. It makes like an upside down Y is what it eventually looks like. So these are going to go out to almost like a 45-degree angle. With both those lower fins in place, we're going to go ahead and lock those in position with a little bit of Bob Smith's Instaset. Just a bit of super glue kicker. Using a little micro brush to apply that. And finally, we're going to attach this lower radar array. You need to test fit this several times before you glue it. There's no locating point. The lower extension from the hull has an angle to it, and if you sit it just right, then the radar sits somewhat correctly. Otherwise, it sits weird. It doesn't look right, but it's real hard to get sorted properly. That just kind of flush mounts against there, it just butts up, it doesn't actually, it doesn't lock into place, and it doesn't feel like it sits right. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply some super glue kicker in there to get that locked into place as well, so it doesn't get knocked off. And with everything assembled, the next step is going to be to glue it onto the stand, and I'm going to come back for a final reveal. Alright, and here we are finished in the display case. Both ships are mounted on their bases. Everything's finished being weathered up. It's kind of hard to do weathering on such dark colors. The smothering showed up better on the white. All in all, a fun little weekend build. It technically took me about 4 days. I did have to wait on some paint drying. You could probably easily do it in a weekend. I was also trying to film, and I don't usually try to film build content like this. I usually just do updates, but I thought maybe it'd be a little fun to switch it up, throw in some of the build process in there, which I'll see some of that, and which I'll just see is kind of an unusual little subject that I normally don't build. I don't see a lot of these being built on any of the YouTube channels that I've seen. You know the drill, guys. Click that like button. If you're not already subscribed, click the subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified of my next upcoming videos. There is a unboxing video that I'm going to be starting on right after I get this uploaded. Give the video a share and leave me comments below. tips, feedback, suggestions, anything you want down there. I read them all. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.